In part 1 of the video series, we will look at why Selenium was chosen as the code of choice to scrape the review data. So here on the screen we can see the two review sites of choice. One on the left side is Google reviews, towards the right is the TripAdvisor site. There are some differences in both the sites. If we look at Google, Google has implemented an indefinite scroll. So once a user scrolls to the bottom of the page, new reviews get loaded. And in the TripAdvisor site, they have implemented pagination. So there are 5 reviews per page, and when a user clicks on the next page button, the next 5 reviews come up, and so on. Another difference between, or another feature in both the websites, is the read more button. So for reviews with a lot of text, once a user clicks on the read more button, he can see the complete text of the review. So the complexity with this is both the websites have implemented a post method for this read more button. So we can use Scrapy to send a post request, but that did not work out as expected, as we'll see soon. So here you can see that the post method, which is used to get the read more button activated, this is the same case for both TripAdvisor and Google. Now, with that being said, the most favored method for getting the data would be APIs. So as we can see for TripAdvisor, they've explicitly mentioned not to use their APIs for academic purposes. So that wasn't a choice for TripAdvisor. But for Google, I was able to create a free account and get an API. I also wrote a code using the Google API. I have masked part of the API here because if somebody uses it and sends a lot of requests, then Google would be billing me for that. So for security purposes, I have just masked part of the API. Now if I run this code, you can see that I only get 5 reviews. So that is a limitation of using a free account in Google. You only get 5 reviews out of the free account. If you need more reviews, then you'll have to get a premium account in Google's cloud platform, which is going to cost us, and so I did not use that method as well. And for TripAdvisor, I tried to use Scrapy to send a post request to enable the read more button and get the data. So this is the code for that. You can see the post method request there highlighted. With this too, I had an issue. So when I ran the spider, it did send the post request to TripAdvisor, but unfortunately TripAdvisor responded with a 405 response, which means that the method is not allowed. I could have modified the code to fool the TripAdvisor website into thinking this was a manual request, but I did not want to do that because I wanted to find a workaround which was more ethical than that. So that was part of the reason why I chose Selenium. Now, Selenium is, even though it is an automation module, it more mimics a manual approach because it opens the browser, it clicks on stuff, you can ask it to scroll down, you can implement some wait times in the middle. So using all those, you can better mimic a manual experience with Selenium when compared to all the other methods. The host server is going to get less number of requests from Selenium when compared to Scrapey or Beautiful Soap. So here in this code, I am using a list to pass the URL of each hotel. There are 6 branches of Travelodge in Cardiff. And first, what the code does is it using the subprocess module in Python, it opens Chrome in a particular port, a 9222 in this case, and then we initialize Selenium to use the open web browser by connecting to that port. And inside the code, we have implemented an option to click on the page numbers. We get the total number of pages and then loop through each page and capture the data. For the purpose of this demonstration, I have reduced the number of pages to the range of the pages to just one click, because I do not want the video to go on forever. It takes a lot of time to run through, for example, say 240 pages. So I've just modified it for the purpose of this demonstration. Once within this loop, once it clicks on different pages, we are going to capture our elements or data of interest through a variety of techniques. We use XPath, we use CSS selectors, we use other Selenium methods like find element by ID or find element by class name. So we are interested in 4 data points: customer, the review date, review text, and the rating star. And once we get this data for each URL, we will be writing it as a CSV file. So that would be the final step of each input from the initial URL list. Also in the URL list, I have just commented out so that I use only 2 URLs, again for demonstration purposes. Now this is the Google code. It is similar, only change is we have added a page down option because of the indefinite scroll. We want the code to scroll to the bottom and load all the reviews before we start scraping the data. So once the page down is done, again we use similar methods, CSS selectors, XPath, etc. to get the data. Obviously we require 2 codes because the class names and IDs, element IDs, etc. are going to be different in TripAdvisor and in Google. Finally, we will write the output to a CSV file. So we will look at how the code runs. Let me demonstrate. So once I run the code, Chrome browser is started in that particular port. After the implemented wait time is passed, Selenium is going to capture this browser, go to the first URL in the URL list. It is going to click on any read more buttons present there in the website and going to capture the data, scroll down and click on the next button. Again, it's going to repeat the same thing, but because we've implemented only 2 page clicks, it is going on to the next next URL in the URL list. So this is the second branch. Again, after the wait time, it goes down, clicks on read more button, scrapes the data, clicks on the next page, and again scrapes it. So this is how this works. So you can see that it really mimics a manual user experience. Once the code is done, you can see that the output CSV files get written here. Because we've limited the number of pages, we've got very little data here, but anyways, it's successfully written it to a CSV file. You can see the customer, the rating star, the review date, and the complete review text. Once and so if we look at the complete extracted data, so these are all the files which were extracted by the original code without any limitation on the page numbers or on page down option. So this is these are the reviews extracted in one of the branches from Google. So in Google there are a number of reviews where customers have only given the rating and not a review or a text review. The one in the files in capitals are from TripAdvisor. Again, we can see that it has captured all the reviews, a lot of reviews. So these are the extracted files